when I say scalable new customers, this is a conversion rate on new. You double the budget or you had 35 G's in a week and your conversion rate only went down 0.2. Yeah, like that's what I want. This is what I'm talking about. Scalable cold traffic. This is what I mean.
We got news on last week's test. I know that a lot of people have been talking about Performance Max and standard shopping. We've also talked about how we like standard shopping more typically, and this was just with like standard builds. However, we're kind of messing with the data now. And John has some new insights to share with you all with a client that has a lot of warm traffic. So super curious to see how this is, because this is kind of like the worst case scenario to run Performance Max. So let's dive on into it.
All right. So last week, if y'all remember, we had our Performance Max and non-brand standard shopping. This is a feed only. They both are going after only new customers. Like every single thing comparative to these two are the same. The only difference is this is standard shopping and this is a feed only. Both non-brand, both new customers, both new customers excluded, yada, yada, yada. So
question real quick. This is first click or just new customers?
Both. First click new customers.
Got it. Okay. So First click new customers. Awesome.
First click new customers. So what's nice is they've been, and this non-brand standard shopping has been running for 8 months. This one is only a few weeks old. So what I did is I went from the last time that we were viewing this, which was on that Tuesday. The next day I cranked up, or on that call, I cranked down the tROAS from 175 down to 40, which is whatever one.
Same as standard shopping.
Exactly. So standard shopping was already on 40, and these are now both on 40. So target ROAS 40, target ROAS 40, which I know is something that, we have that is something that people are like, wait a minute. If you ask it to get a tROAS 40 and you're already getting like a 0.79 or 0.8, won't it drop down to 40? So I'm going to share with you when I talk about the tROAS targets being restrictive. Let me just do one quick before we kind of do the full walkthrough of everything. We're going to look at these 2 days compared to the previous period. And this is when this campaign did spend about 80% more. So it went from 3,300 to 5,900. This was actually increasing the budget from like $1,300 a day to $1,500 a day. This is before we actually started to go to the the $5,000 a day. This one down here, it was spending 1,400 and 5,300. So it did increase its spending by dropping that tROAS. And the interesting thing about this is the conversion rate actually went up 21%. The CPA though did go up 55%. As long as I don't go over 250, my phone doesn't ring and I don't get in trouble. Cool. So that's kind of like our NCAC targets that we both look at. The ROAS going from 175 down to 40 increased my ROAS by 3%. So the ROAS went from 0.84 to 0.86.
Make sense, John.
I know, from going from a 175 down to a 40. When I say that the tROAS is a restricted bidding strategy and not a feature of optimization, for some reason, Google has trained the world into thinking that the tROAS is a target return on ad spend. It is not. It is a restricted bidding strategy that tells Google, if you do not think or if you do not know, do not spend. What we have to test is, does it not think or does it not know? If it does not think, we can see probably a reduction in tROAS because it knows pretty well who these people are. So it does not think it can get there. But if it does not know, that's also the same restriction. It means it will not spend because it simply doesn't know.
So it just comes down to prospecting. That's like the biggest thing.
Yeah, it's basically is, hey, could you find me a user that will convert at above a 175? I have no idea. What about 40? Oh, well, that's a lot more leash. I can go exploring. Thank you. Like, let me grab my flashlight, my map, and I'll head on to the woods, see if I can find more buyers. Like, it will now be let off the leash.
Buyers in the woods.
Exactly. It turns into Dora the Explorer, and it goes off and tries to find people. So by taking my tROAS, and the reason why I always use a 40% is this is simply the level that I believe is sort of like an automated negative keyword effect. It's going to spend some money. It'll test it. If it doesn't do good as everything else, it just stops going after it. Kind of like what I would do anyway. So I found that a 40% allows it to go and, it can increase its spend 267% in 2 days, because it did not know. So it went from 1,400 to $5,000 and my ROAS got better. Okay. So my tROAS got better. My CPA did go up $33, but 122 to 156 after tripling the budget in 2 days. Not bad. My conversion rate is what's saving the CPA, and the CPA did increase by 55%. Now, some interesting thing happened, though, is that my non-brand shopping also increased by 80%. So what I'm tracking here is, because both of them will go after warm traffic, what I believe is happening, while I can't prove it, it's anecdotal, but it's been repeatable 100% of the time, that when this finds new people, this one says, hey, thanks, I'm going to go after them too. It's the same conversion event on the same channel. So that's what we have to look at is, but they're both using the same targets. So why the increase? Well, they both weren't spending their full daily budgets before. Now they can.
Question on Performance Max real quick. Is that negativing out the brand terms as well, or is that just feed only open?
They are kind of ridiculously both even showing up for the same search terms. So it's like blast up here, you'll see like weight loss pills, best libido, fat burning, GLP-1. You hop over into the standard shopping campaign, non-brand shopping, search terms, same time period, starting descending by conversions, GLP-1, weight loss pills, supplements from fat burning. I mean, we're basically showing exactly. I mean, we have both everything is identical. Like, this is the truest A/B test I've ever ran in my life. I mean, there's even the conversions where that is where it gets a little squirrelier when you look at the conversions, because they hop over to the all conversion. I have 27 to 40 and 13 up to 26. So I gained more returning than new. Very odd.
Interesting. So the ratio completely flipped.
But look at the non-brand, or look at the PMax. It went from, I actually lost returning and gained 136% new.
Yeah.
Now, why would that be? Well, I dropped the tROAS target on feed only. So what this did is it says, hey, those more expensive customers, you get them because you're able to be more aggressive because your CPCs are lower. You're able to cover more ground. So it attributed more here and basically kind of robbed the growth from here. So because we also have people who are increasing in terms of the volume of traffic, because a 50-50 halfway returning, this one said, cool, I'll take the new. This one says, great, I'll take your returning.
It makes sense though. But question on that though. So, I mean, since shopping is obviously more bottom of funnel in terms of just like a user's behavior, would you argue that like there's like impressions that are not being seen on the meta side of it, and then the first click is attributed correctly, but it's not the driver?
Well, how would the first click not be the driver? I'm confused by that scenario. Sorry.
So like they see an ad on like Facebook, and then they see another ad on Facebook. They don't click. Like kind of like what you were saying before in one of the calls.
Oh, like generating demand?
Yeah, like generating demand, and then Performance Max, when that demand reaches over and shows similar signals, Performance Max earns the first click, or shopping earns the first click, even though they heard about you from another source. It's like TAM, but like you're sort of using meta to go further out. And then this is sort of sniping people where they're showing interest based on the signals.
It's definitely that. Like there's definitely a lot of that going on. And I can't even prove that this didn't even get some outbound display clicks on people who are familiar with us. Like there is absolutely that. That would be, in my opinion, okay, only if that's the result right there. Whereas like new is 136, our returning is flat. Okay,
trending in the right direction for
at least you're doing that on the right audience. Typically, that would go after the wrong audience like it was the week before, because a high tROAS target, a high tROAS target says, okay, I can't go too cold. Low tROAS target be like, well, now I can go explore all I want.
Well, I mean, we could even look at like the CPA differences too.
Yeah, I mean the CPA differences. You'll see the next test. You'll see that part. It'll be a lot more clear. This is only half the test. I actually cranked it up to $5,000 $5,000 a day and blew like 20 Gs in like 4 days. So that'll be next. I'll show you what that looks like.
I love it.
But because this is the known users and this is the unknown users, then it's like, hey, you can go where you need to go. Why? Well, I dropped your tROAS down, so now go into more unknown. Thank you. So a high tROAS target sometimes also gets stuck with more returning because Google knows those people better. These are people that are repeatable. I've seen them for years. I know who they are. I've watched their children grow. These people, I have no idea. I don't even have a G-Clit. Do they click on an ad? I have no data for these people. The standard tag just sucks. So because it doesn't know a lot about new and it knows a lot about returning, when you ask it to get what it knows, where does it go? Who does it know? Returning. That's just how PMax operates. Standard shopping does also that same thing.
So really quick, because I know it's important. Sorry, I know I keep interrupting you. So these are cold tactics that we're proving work. So even if you don't have these tools, these cold tactics are being proven right now. So you guys can use these, and you don't even, I mean, obviously it's better to have, for example, a third-party tool that pumps in the right data. But if you don't, you can still take these tactics and affect your account in a positive light. You just have to know where to look. That's where the issue comes in.
And the issue that when people say, well, I dropped my tROAS and things got more expensive. Yes, because what you can't see, why is this not working? There we go. Because what you can't see when you drop your tROAS is the ratio. So while this ratio is beautiful, people get very nervous, and they start to panic and they start to pull back and they start to actually question the reality and if their parents even love them anymore because your CPA is rising. And that's when people are like, they do that because they can't see what's going on. So this scenario, nice low CPA, especially if you're counting both. You'll actually have more returning than new because that's a nice fat little, CPA target. It's beautiful, easy to get. But when you say, hey, drop the tROAS because we need to scale towards new, people see this go up, but they don't see that's bad, but that's very good. Now, is that bad? No, it's below target. Is that good? Yes. Okay, so you're good and good? Yeah. All right, you're good. They just don't have the visibility of clarity, and they don't know how bad it is, and they don't know how good it's getting. But usually when bad turns to good, things actually look worse. And it's the same thing that we were teaching in our ad flow funnels, whereas we scaled up from our 30 grand to 96,000, like my CPM platform went to 18 to 40. Like that basically doubled. And more than doubled because 18 times 2 is 36. So it doubled the CPA. Oh no. But at the same time, my new customer cost went from 250 down to 219. Oh, yeah. Okay. So
well, this is the whole entire like advantage that you have over everyone else. Like if you're seeing this and you understand this, most marketers, like John was saying, like they look at in platform, like, oh, it went up. I'm gonna like trim the budget or increase the tROAS. Goes more warm. They're not looking at NCAC or the P&L. But if you can look at the P&L, you have a blue ocean of pretty much clients that no one is really going after because they don't look at this stuff in this way.
Yeah, so you're never going to replace me. I'm better than their CMO and CFO most of the time. And that's what sucks is it's not me being arrogant. It's me actually condemning the industry. Like, why is your media buyer better at this?
Yeah.
So let's look at this here.
But they also think too that Google's reporting is correct. This is a whole conversation. But like they look at it and say, "Oh, I've turned on the new, cold settings of like new customers only. I only want that." So it's cold, but it's not true. It does not work.
It's cool, guys. Don't worry. I clicked on new customer acquisition. There's no way that I was getting 125.70. Google said I'm not. I clicked the button. So exactly right. And so that's the problem is people believe the data too much. Okay, so let's take a little bit of a zoomed out. That was just the first 2 days of last week. Now we're going to look at the first 2 days combined with the next 4 days, and we're going to compare that week over week. And this is when feed only went from 2 grand to 25 G's. We scaled this thing by 1,000%, over 1,000%.
Jeez.
And so we I always like to say we boogied pretty hard is how we danced the night away on this one. So interestingly enough, though, look what non-brand shopping did. It's a 53% increase through no touching. I have not touched this. This non-brand standard shopping during this time period. There is proof. This one here, 100 to 60. This is on July 30th. So this is actually like the day that we were launching this one. This actually happened before our even call. So that's the bad part. Is that one was already been reduced prior to this on the day of the change. So that one is something that had the same, had a tROAS target that was not being met, had to drop it a bit, but these are now at both at 40 since the beginning of the test. So we're a little bit of apples to oranges comparison, but not too bad. The non-brand standard shopping did spend 53% more. The feed only did spend 1,000% more. So we have to look at the conversions. This one increased by 422%. This increased by 23. So 1,000 and 453 and 23. Remember, because these go warm, we'll always see a point of, did you spend all of that money only on new? No. Did you spend all the money on new? No. So that's the issue that you're going to see is you add in dollars, but you're only tracking half of what it actually produced to the top line. Measured by NCAC, confirmed by MER. That's kind of the thought process. MER's new and returning, NCAC's cost of new. So we do see a little bit of...
Real quick question on that. Where's the RC?
That's over to the right. We'll cover that.
Okay.
Yep. So as we move down to the metrics, the conversion value increased by about 400, increased about 20. So same ratios are about the same. Now, here's where CPC on feed only actually didn't exceed, but caught up to standard shopping. So it used to be $1.52. Now it's 247, 258. We're only what 9 cents difference, or what 11 cents difference. So about the same CPC. Okay. So then we look at the ROAS. The feed only went from 132 down to 61 with a 40% target. This one went from 0.76 though down to 0.59. So I'm still better on my new customer ROAS. My NMR is the new media efficiency ratio, all cash out divided by new in a conversion value, shows that I'm still actually beating my standard shopping, even though they're on the same targets. Okay. So technically slightly more efficient. CPA, this one went up 116%, went up 22%, about the same that we saw with the increase in ad spend. So from a ratio split, this one went up 108, this one went up 137. Now, what you'll notice though, is they are almost both identical, 201, 202. We're still beating it technically by feed only, but they're pretty much, apples to apples and oranges comparison. This is where things got a little bit haywire now on the opposite. Because of the sheer volume and spend, we did see new and returning go up a bit. So we saw 105 new, 41 returning, 24 going to 130. Excellent. 16 going to 57. Great for Myrrh, but actually, not too bad. It's not
a little bit better ratio, just slightly better.
Slightly better ratio. And this ratio is because this ratio increased by 400, this increased by 250. Okay. So we still know that it's going to go warm, but the reason why your CPA increases is because not even half, but some large portion of the money that you spent cannot be counted here. However, if we were not splitting and optimizing, when you increase your budget, sometimes this could be flipped. You could have a large increase of returning and not that much new. That would give you a better CPA as well, better than what we're doing on counting new, but you're going to hit a scale ceiling immediately because there's no more returning customers to be had. You've gone through the list like twice, knock it off. There's no more people here. It just bounces. This will not bounce. Go ahead.
Quick point on this too. So the reason why you trust these conversion actions is because it's through your CAPI importing. So it's pulling data from the back end of the business. It's not just a standard server side tracking of just putting in data and, saying, brand got the first click kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It's tagging people earlier in the cycle. So it's not like a standard, I guess, way of tagging per se. It's a more high-tech way of tagging is like the simple way to put it.
Yeah. Basically on the way to our site, we tag them, not after they get to the site. And right. That's actually fairly important. Because when you tag them when they get to the site, 40% of that data is kind of already stripped and lost anyway. That's Shopify numbers by themselves. 55% in Asian territories, 40% lost in US territories. That's why
which is crazy.
Yeah, and I actually have another case study I want to dive into right after this one because I think it's actually really important. It's talking about better marketing skills rather than just technical analysis. So we'll go through that next because that's actually really important. But long story short, the test that we were running, yes, we do see a better ratio. They are the CPA by time 196 and 169. This is a little bit less important. And I know that sounds a little bit less important. The actual cost per conversion here is more important because this one's been running for way longer. So it's going to attribute more time because the returning customers are actually counted out, or first time customers are counted out past 90 days and they're every. So I do have some duplicates here that I do not have here. Just the nature of the beast has been out longer. It can count more returning customers and we have sales usually once a month. And this one's been tracking for the last 3 months. The top one's only been tracking for a few weeks. So there is some fluff there.
Could you just calculate the CPA right now and new?
So that CPA by time is actually this one calculation here. If we use the cost per conversion, we have to go into the conversion columns, which is over here. Wait, where's the conversion column? Conversion column, conversion value. That CPA is actually tracking the by click, not by time.
Yep.
And that is increasing 455, 422. So there are a little bit variations, but that's going and adding 104. This one added 21. And that's where you see the all conversions here is a 455, 262, 422, 256. So we actually have a higher amount of new, more recent than returning. And that actually, that checks out because this is going to be more attributable to the clicks only in this day. This is a larger group of people in the by time, so it's less movable. There's older people in there that have clicked before this time range, so I can't have any effect on those people.
Got it. So long story short, it's looking good. Need more time. The spends aren't matched perfectly, but it's looking good, or it's looking competable against standard shopping. So that's a good note for people.
What's cool about this
that's what the requirements of the backend data.
Yeah, and we're not done, obviously, because we've only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We actually don't even have the imports on the 4th in today, so today's looks bad. But we only really have 5 days. Now, here's the thing: is what's next? Well, with the conversion value by cost of 5 days here, 4 days there, 5 days here, and 2 days here, I'm still in my time lag. Time lag, let's just call it 3 to 4 days. I'm still in directly in the middle of my time lag. So what's actually going to be contributable from these campaigns from an accrual standpoint, what they will produce from like a 7-day look back. I'm still in 5 of my first 7-day look back. So it's kind of like, that's the scale. So I have to see how this normalizes. But from a total top line perspective, when you count everything together, this is what it is looking like, which is actually cost and conversions here. Like, besides the conversions that we don't have yesterday because the imports aren't matched, obviously, by the hour, it takes Google like 8 to 20 hours. This is kind of where we're at right now, which is that's very good. That's what I want. Why is there
line goes up? That means good.
Why is there 3 lines? What the hell is this line? Oh, clicks. I don't even have clicks. So I'm trying to get 2 lines of conversions. Well, as to this too, the cost per conversion definitely increasing. That's for sure. This is definitely not heading in the right direction. It seems like it flattened a little bit here and their conversion still went up. This could be the instance of time lag. And that's what we have to look at is this something that is still going to move with us in conversion and conversion value? So long story short, we're going to give this more time. It is scaling up. We're still below target. I can't go above 250. If we just look at the last 7 days compared to previous 7 days as a total, though, we look at this here. So the account has added 35 grand. We went 131% up in our cost. Our value per conversion stayed about the same. We have 67% more new customers, 65% more new customer value. Our CPC did increase, but nothing compared to the 131% increase in a week. And our CPA basically went from 61 to 84. That's not bad when we're counting only new customers. Excellent. And then my conversion rate stayed about the same. So when you double the budget to go from 2.3 to 2.1, hell yeah, that's not bad after adding 35 G's in 7 days. That is fantastic. That conversion rate is money. I love it. Yeah, I'm paying more for them, but that could be fixed later on.
Yeah, the conversion lag is catching up to it.
When I say scalable new customers, this is a conversion rate on new. You double the budget you added 35 G's in a week and your conversion rate only went down 0.2. Yeah, like that's what I want. This is what I'm talking about. Scalable cold traffic. This is what I mean. John, should I increase my budget 20% every week? I don't know. Do 130% in a week and see what happens. So far, it's good. Like add 35 G's to it. So there's so many situations like of can I scale and is it going to be efficient and effective? If you're counting new with a good structure, yeah, and still being below, that's $100 NCAC from top line. Our total top line ceiling is 250. So I'm not even close to
first click. That's first click. But yes.
First click NCAC, yes. Well, when I say NCAC, I mean like hopefully you're having proper attribution in your NCAC. Yes, like but our attributable first click NCAC is 250.
Yeah. Trending, benchmarking in the right direction, or in an okay direction.
Yeah. So, I mean, adding $29 to it, that's still below $100. Like, that's why when I showed this with the client, he's like, that's cool. Can you take it to 10? I'm like, not yet. I want to have time. Like, yeah, exactly. I mean, we just went from, $250 to 5 G's in a week. So let's give this some time. But yeah, I mean, that's a really good increase. This is fantastic stuff for the client. I mean, we're super happy about this. Hey, if you like this video, we have a Skool Community where we have a few hundred members and we cover topics, everything from the basics to all the way to the like hyper crazy advanced stuff that's like coming out next month. So a few hundred members there. We go live twice a week, something with an hour-long education about something that is very relevant to the community that week, plus a weekly Q&A where you just get to come and bring us all of your problems and we solve them one at a time.
So I have a link below in the description if you want to join. And then obviously if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and we can answer those for you. And we'll see you in there.